Chapter 15 The Cullens. The muted light of yet another cloudy day eventually woke me. I lay with my arms across my eyes, groggy and dazed. Something, a dream tried to be remembered, struggled to break into my consciousness. I moaned and rolled on my side, hoping more sleep would come. And then the previous day flooded back into my awareness. Oh! I sat up so fast it made my head spin. Your hair looks like a haystack, but I like it. His unruffled voice came from a rocking chair in the corner. Edward, you stayed! I rejoiced, and thoughtlessly threw myself across the room and into his lap. In the instant that my thoughts caught up with my actions, I froze, shocked by my own uncontrolled enthusiasm. I stared up at him, afraid that I had crossed the wrong line, but he laughed. Of course, he answered, startled, but seeming pleased by my reaction. His hands were up my back. I laid my head cautiously against his shoulder, breathing in the smell of his skin. I was sure it was a dream. You're not that creative, he scoffed. Charlie, I remembered, thoughtlessly jumping up again and heading to the door. He left an hour ago, after reattaching your battery cables, I might add. I have to admit I was disappointed. Is that really all it would take to stop you, if you were determined to go? I deliberated where I stood, wanting to return to him badly, but afraid I might have morning breath. You're not usually this confused in the morning, he noted. He held his arms open for me to return, a nearly irresistible invitation. I need another human minute, I admitted. I'll wait. I skipped to the bathroom, my emotions unrecognizable. I didn't know myself inside or out. The face in the mirror was practically a stranger, eyes too bright, hectic spots of red across my cheekbones. After I brushed my teeth, I worked to straighten out the tangled chaos that was my hair. I splashed my face with cold water and tried to breathe normally, with no noticeable success. I half ran back to my room. It seemed like a miracle that he was there, his arms still waiting for me. He reached out to me and my heart thumped unsteadily. Welcome back, he murmured, taking me into his arms. He rocked me for a while in silence, until I noticed that his clothes were changed, his hair smooth. You left? I accused, touching the collar of his fresh shirt. I could hardly leave in the clothes I came in. What would the neighbors think? I pouted. You are very deeply asleep. I didn't miss anything. His eyes gleamed. The talking came earlier. I groaned. What did you hear? His gold eyes grew very soft. You said you loved me. You knew that already, I reminded him, ducking my head. It was nice to hear, just the same. I hid my face against his shoulder. I love you, I whispered. You are my life now, he answered simply. There was nothing more to say for the moment. He rocked us back and forth as the room grew lighter. Breakfast time, he said eventually, casually, to prove that he remembered all my human frailties. So I clutched my throat with both hands and stared at him with wide eyes shot across his face. Kidding, I snickered, and you said I couldn't act. He frowned in disgust. That wasn't funny. It was very funny, you know it, but I examined his gold eyes carefully to make sure that I was forgiven. Apparently, I was. Shall I rephrase? He asked. Breakfast time for the human. Oh, okay. He threw me over his stone shoulder gently, but with a swiftness that left me breathless. I protested as he carried me easily down the stairs, but he ignored me. He sat me right side up on a chair. The kitchen was bright, happy, seeming to absorb my mood. What's for breakfast? I asked pleasantly. That threw him for a minute. I'm not sure. What would you like? His marble brow puckered. I grinned, hopping up. That's all right. I fend for myself pretty well. Watch me hunt. I found a bowl and a box of cereal. I could feel his eyes on me as I poured the milk and grabbed a spoon. I set my food on the table and then paused. "Can I get you anything?" I asked, not wanting to be rude. He rolled his eyes. "Just eat, Bella." I sat at the table watching him as I took a bite. He was gazing at me, studying my every movement. It made me self-conscious. I cleared my mouth to speak, to distract him. "What's on the agenda for today?" I asked. I watched him frame his answer carefully. "What would you say to meeting my family?" I gulped. "Are you afraid now?" He sounded hopeful. "Yes," I admitted. How could I deny it? He could see my eyes. "Don't worry," he smirked. "I'll protect you." "I'm not afraid of them," I explained. "I'm afraid they won't like me." "Won't they be, well, surprised that you bring someone like me home to meet them? Do they know that I know about them?" "Oh, they already know everything. They taken bets yesterday, you know." He smiled, but his voice was harsh. "On whether I bring you back. Though why anyone would bet against Alice, I can't imagine. At any rate, we don't have secrets in the family. It's not really feasible, what with my mind reading and Alice seeing the future and all that. And Jasper making you feel all warm and fuzzy about spilling your guts, don't forget that." "You paid attention." He smiled approvingly. "I've been known to do that every now and then," I grimaced. "So did Alice see me coming?" His reaction was strange. "Something like that," he said uncomfortably, turning away so that I couldn't see his eyes. I stared at him curiously. "Is that any good?" he asked, turning back to me abruptly and eyeing my breakfast with a teasing look on his face. "Honestly, it doesn't look very appetizing." "Well, it's no irritable grizzly," I murmured, ignoring him when he glowered. I was still wondering why he responded that way when I mentioned Alice. I hurried through my cereal, speculating. He stood in the middle of the kitchen, a statue of Adonis again, staring distractedly out the back windows. Then his eyes were back on me, and he smiled his heartbreaking smile. "And you should introduce me to your father, too, I think." "He already knows you," I reminded him. "As your boyfriend, I mean." I stared at him with suspicion. "Why?" "Isn't that customary?" he asked innocently. "I don't know," he admitted. "My dating history gave me few reference points to work with. Not that any normal rules of dating applied here."